Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you do see this video, welcome back to the second episode of hopefully a successful continuing series on the Grade A Fantasy channel. I like to call this Grade A Power Plays, as we talk about my favorite picks on the FanDuel website, on the blue side, on Sportsbook, on NHL bets, maybe even some parlays. But let's review what happened yesterday. We was heavy on Josh Morrissey, and if you tailed the picks, you definitely made some money. The only thing that we could say is, we didn't get the ladder on Morrissey. A ton of shots got blocked. But, like I said, against Anaheim, you always pick two of the top shooting defensemen. And most of the time, some of the time I get both, but most of the time I'm getting one. Very rare does both defensemen fail me on the shots on goal prop. So let's take a review here. Neil Pionk got the easy over 1.5. That was a nice simple win. Like I said, Morrissey ended up with 4 or 5 shot blocks. If you didn't watch the game, go back to the ESPN Gamecast and look at the play-by-play. He at least had 4, maybe 5 shots blocked. It could have been 6. Does that mean he could have got all them shots? No, because he could have missed them wide left. But he took enough shots where they got blocked, where I think he could at least got his main prop of over the 2.5, but we couldn't get that. So obviously none of the Morrissey shots hit, but Pionk hit his 3 for a nice plus money right there. Morrissey got the 2 assists, as I was confident in. He got the 1 assist, so a nice little mini ladder right there. And then I ended, doing my own thing with a little Voronkov point. Nice little risk in a high-scoring game, but it just didn't work out. But the Josh Morrissey, it did pan out the way, just wasn't a complete success. So once again, as you can see by the cover art, what are we doing today? We are attacking Anaheim again. And hey, back-to-back, going against another solid power play. So here we go. I already placed these in earlier this morning, and let's go on with it. Evan Bouchard, this game was played literally about 5-6 days ago. No, not even, maybe 4 days ago. And on the road, Bouchard basically had 3 shots on goal. Ekholm also had 3 shots on goal. So what are we doing here? The first 2 bets that I put in all day, over 2.5 for Bouchard minus 152. Ekholm over 2.5 is plus money. So those are the first that we're gonna go. Bouchard went 3 shots, no misses. Ekholm went 3 shots with a miss on the 29th or the 28th. This game was just played recently, and Anaheim has been playing well, sneaking up on some good teams. But on this back-to-back against a team with definitely revenge on the mind and fresh, I think Edmonton is definitely going to attack. They do have the better goalie going tonight in Luke Dostal, because Gibson went last night. So, maybe a little hesitant there, but this is still a bad Anaheim team, and that commits penalties. So I definitely like Bouchard with his heavy shot, and Ekholm, who plays the second power play, but he plays 5-on-5 with Bouchard. So he does take the opportunity. To take his shots on 5-on-5, and yes, he's the power play quarterback for the second power play. And to get those points and shots, he does play with McDavid, because McDavid and Ovechkin are the main 2 that plays on both power plays. You could take the risk with Darnell Nurse, but me, I like to take the top 2. That's my formula. Against Anaheim, you take the top 2 shooting defensemen, and that is Matthias Ekholm and Evan Bouchard. I said Devin. Now, don't get me wrong, Darnell Nurse does put up some shots, but he's still he doesn't have he has the opportunity like Ekholm, because they put 2 defensemen on that power play. But like I said, Ekholm does play with he's the top pairing with Bouchard and McDavid, so that's why I'm pairing him with this. I think Bouchard could get 2 points. Why did I put 2 points instead of 2 assists like yesterday? Because he's the power play quarterback. Because Bouchard does have a heavy shot and he can score. So in case he doesn't get the assist, because the last game that they just played, he ended up with a goal and an assist, so 2 points. So just in case he doesn't get the 2 assists, because we're going to go with that again, this kind of covers your ass with the 2 points. But if he gets the 2 assists, then it correlates with the 2 points. So Evan Bouchard for 2 points. We'll go Matthias Ekholm for 1 point. He ended up with a point the last game as well. So I really think that these two defensemen, just like last night, Pionk and Morrissey, we got Ekholm and Bouchard ready to attack and capitalize on their weaknesses. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Bouchard, 1 assist, minus 138. 2 assists, gets up to 390. Ekholm with an assist, he's plus 172. And then power play point, Bouchard plus 190. So that will be the main combo. We are attacking Anaheim again. Now, for a calculated risk, before I even started this channel, I was doing my own thing with, people who are just having hot streaks, and, you are able to, ladder what they needed to do. So in my case, I think with the way Chicago has been playing offensively, and they've kind of found what they need to keep as the top line with Bedard, with Bertuzzi. But now they took Taylor Hall off. They're doing a whole bunch of stuff, whatever the case is. But I think it's the time, especially the way he's played in the past week. The way he's played in the past week, I'm going back to an old favorite that I was cashing in on heavy in November and early December. It is now time to go back on the Ryan Donato train. And why do I say that? Well, for somebody who's an aggressive shooter, and then he had a slump where he just stopped shooting. So we're back in the case of he's back at such a cheap price and a cheap prop that Ryan Donato is now worth a pick and a prop and a mini ladder. First off, what's the good thing? They've been bouncing Donato lately between the third and the fourth line. Between the third and fourth lines against Montreal, the depth of Montreal is like the depth of Detroit, the depth of Anaheim, even the depth of Columbus, and the depth of San Jose. Pure crap. He will be playing also. The one thing they don't do is move Donato off the power play. He's on the top power play unit. So what I like here is this simple. We're going to scroll down here and go to the individuals. Look what Ryan Donato's at. Minus 188. It did change. It went slightly up. When I took my notes this morning, Donato was minus 184 for the 1.5. Okay? So 1.5, I like. This is just a calculated sniff for me, because Donato's the guy that could shoot, and now him playing on the lower lines, he has his own case. Even though he plays center, he's going to be with people where he gets to pretty much shoot on his own behalf. On his own volition, he's going to be, creating his own shot. And he's been shooting well. He's started to uptake his shots again after, a bunch of zeros and stuff like that. Very inconsistent. He's still getting around the 4s and the 3s in December when he cooled off late November going into December, but he's still getting over the 2.5. He's constantly over 2.5. So 1.5, which is 2, get you minus 188. But when you go to the individual shots, and we come up here, Ryan Donato for 3 shots is plus 175. When before, you needed 4 shots to get that. So definitely value here against Montreal. I like that. Mini ladder for Donato. 1.5, which is basically 2 with the hook. And then just go up 1 more for Donato. He's been shooting as of much lately. Yes, it has calmed down, but he's picked it back up. Yes, towards the end of the year, there was a few 2s and 1s. But ever since they had the break. So basically there's been 5 games since. 2-1-1 and then 2 and 5. And as you can see, the 2s, he even did it against good defensive teams, Dallas, Calgary, but that's playing the bottom. Obviously teams like Buffalo, game got out of hand. Minnesota, before the injuries kicked up, that's a good defensive team all around. And then, like I said, even in the blowout run, maybe, yes, it's a possibility that, he did get blowout run because they were losing 6-2 in the Classic, in the Winter Classic. But I'm looking at his time on ice, and even in these last 5 losses, I've seen Donato get 3 shots even in 12, 13 minutes of ice time. It's bounced up and down, but 11, 17, 12, 12, 15. Donato's a shooter first. He's a shooter first. Can he create, play make? Somewhat, but he's definitely a shooter first. He's gonna have free range to shoot playing in the bottom 6. Right now, as of practice yesterday, he's on the bottom line. So he's centering Craig Smith and Pat Maroon. Season stat wise, he's 30 shots on top of both those guys. He's been all over the place, top line, bottom line. I like Donato because the price is not that bad and it's pretty low. So that'll be my last calculated sniff of the day. So I'll be entering that. Yes, it's not much at 188, 1.5, but Donato gets that 3, and boom, it's gonna look real nice. Like I said, depends on what you want to put on it. But Donato's a shooter first, and we're back to where it was easy when Donato was shooting, and he didn't need much to make his main prop. Because I was laddering him up to 4 or 5 when he was still at 1.5. So those days of plus money when he hit 4 and 5, those days were great. So you can kind of say it's kind of me going down memory lane. It's not much of a big bet, but hey, it's a little something. Build up the bankroll. And that's what I have for you guys today. So, open bets, like I said, little Donato sniff. And then, like I said, all over Edmonton defenseman, Bouchard, Ekholm. This is Grade A Fantasy with Grade A Power Plays for Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Good luck. This is a new series. I don't know if I'll be able to do a video tomorrow because pretty much after this, I'm going to be thinking about getting ready for the Sunday NFL main slate on FanDuel. If I do, it will be a quick video as usual. I'll be doing my best to try and keep these under 10, 11 minutes. Especially if I'm just focusing on one main thing, then, you know, it's probably like an 8-7 minute video like yesterday when we just talked about Josh Morrissey and mentioned Neil Pionk. But other than that, this is what I have for you today. Up in the air if I do anything tomorrow, and I doubt if I do anything Sunday because that'll be all about football. Yeah, good luck if you're tailing these. Thank you for tuning in. Grade A Fantasy with Grade A Power Plays. Signing off.